Thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. I'm Audra Kane. As Cape Girardeau Mayor Harry Rediger begins serving his final year, we thought it best to hear from him about goals for 2017, with many projects coming online and others in the planning and vision phase. We'll also hear from Southeast Missouri State's Dr. Morris Jenkins, the Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, regarding his role as the co-chair of the Martin Luther King Commemoration Committee. Plus, he may share a few thoughts on current events. And speaking of current, music takes the forefront on the stage of the Show Me Center. Marketing Director Abby Vanderboel is here to tell us what you can see and participate in. That's all ahead on Cape Chronicle.
Whether it's for business or just a getaway, Cape Air is your wings in the Midwest. Cape Air serves 6 destinations, including Kirksville, Quincy, Fort Leonard Wood, Cape Girardeau, Marion, and Owensboro. Fly from Cape Girardeau to St. Louis with fares starting at just $49 each way. With easy connections through Lambert St. Louis International Airport, Cape Air connects you to the Midwest and the world. Book today at capeair.com or call 800-CAPE-AIR and enjoy the ride.
Welcome to Cape Chronicle. I'm Audra Kane. The coming year will present a change in leadership for most Americans, as will 2018 for those living in Cape Girardeau. Mayor Harry Rediger will complete his term in the coming year and has a few thoughts and programs to complete also in this 2017. Mayor Rediger, thanks so much for coming in today.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, Audra.
Well, thanks. Well, there are so many projects on the list for this year. Which ones do you feel like are the big highlights for the city?
Well, 2017 is going to be a very exciting year because we're going to be completing, number one, we're going to be completing some very strategic projects. We will be opening our new fire station on Lexington. That will open this year. We'll be finishing Bloomfield Road, which has been long awaited.
Yes.
Through this year. We'll be finishing the next phase of Veterans Memorial this year, in the spring, in fact. And then the real exciting thing that's going to come to fruition this year is our large indoor sports complex that's been long awaited. We'll be opening that in May of this year, and really looking forward to that one coming online. It's going to bring a lot of new visitors to our city that are through sports tournaments, and we're very excited about that.
You're probably, and this is kind of an off-the-cuff question, is there a lot of collaboration with like the Visitors Center or the Visitors Bureau in order to get events and sporting events to come in and use the facility?
That's exactly right. We, the city is operating the sports complex, but all of the, in conjunction with the Sports and Rec Department, CVB, our Convention Visitor Bureau, will be very closely involved in scheduling and marketing that complex. It's going to be very exciting.
For people who have not heard about this project, they may have seen it, but they didn't know exactly what it was. What types of sports will be available to be played there? There
are 6 wood floor basketball courts that convert to 12 volleyball courts. And then there's 2 artificial turf, full-size soccer fields, indoors.
That's amazing.
And so there's a lot of events that can take place, and some side events in that spaces too. But going to be real exciting. It's a huge building.
That it is. It's up on the north end of town,
absolutely.
And you can't miss it if you're driving on 55 or if you're on Kings Highway.
For sure.
So what are some of the other, are there other highlights that you think, projects that will be completed before you end your term as mayor?
Well, what I'm really looking at is kind of looking toward the transition. I term out in April of 18. I'm kind of looking forward to the transition, and there's going to be some projects that I'd like to visit a little bit about that will be still in the planning stage, but I want to have a plan in place for those projects, and they include our purpose-built community, update of our city strategic plan, and forward thinking on removing ourselves from current City Hall into a new location probably in the early 2020s.
Okay, so with that purpose-built community, what is that and who is it going to impact?
We had our first visit from Purpose-Built Community, which is an organization out of Atlanta, Georgia, last fall. Probably will end up, they're coming back again in February. That'll probably end up being about probably 9 or 10 visits before we're accepted into the network. It's a national restoration of parts of cities that have been really let down over the years and neglected over the years. And it's going to be, we don't have the area yet, but it'll be a good part of the southern part of Cape Girardeau. We've attempted to do some things for the southern part of Cape Girardeau, but we just haven't got our arms around it yet. This is a model that has worked around the nation, and there are 2 cities about our size, Rome, Georgia, and Spartanburg, South Carolina, that are well underway, a few years under this process. Then we're going to follow their model also, along with the leadership from Purpose Built, to get us on the way there. This is going to be at least a 10-year project, up to a 15-year project to complete, but it's my goal to have the plans well in place by early 18.
Awesome. That's fantastic to know, because that's one of those areas of town that really, when you drive through, you know that there needs to be some work done.
And it involves crime, it involves education, it involves neighborhood, it involves home ownership, a complete transformation of the area.
Great.
So we're excited about the potential there.
That is exciting. What about the community strategic plan that you mentioned?
Well, staff and council elected late last year to update our strategic plan, and rather than going out to a consultant to do that, we've elected to go to our citizens. So we are scheduling in the month of February 6 town hall focus type meetings, 1 in each ward, so it's spread throughout the city, to ask citizens of their needs, wants, and what they're hearing, and give them our current strategic plan and look for their input. We will then, at the conclusion of those meetings, bring all of that input back into City Hall and attempt to update our strategic plan. Our strategic plan is not outdated, but it's tired. It's a little old, and we are really looking to update that this year.
Well, and speaking of City Hall, you mentioned the possibility of moving City Hall somewhere else. The building that you're in now was a school. It was pretty old when the city moved into it. So what is your vision for that?
Well, we have a couple of visions, and they're just exactly that at this point in time. We have no funding stream for this, but the 2 visions that I have are somewhere along the Fountain and Sprigg Street corridor. We want to stay downtown. Somewhere along that corridor, possibly building a new City Hall, downsize some because we are outsourcing some of our current departments. And then the other one that's kind of bubbled up is the iconic Common Pleas Courthouse that is the downtown on the hill.
It's sort of the jewel of downtown, right?
And the unique thing is it's older than the one we would be getting out of. But the county is elected to move out of that courthouse when they build a courthouse in Jackson. So in 2020 or 2021, that building will be empty, and I don't see another use for that building. And if that building becomes empty and sits very long, at its age, it's going to deteriorate rapidly. And I'm very much into saving that building. And we've walked it a little bit, not engineering and anything. We're way early on it, but it has potential, and I'm getting more excited about the possibility of that becoming our City Hall. A lot more work to do.
And does it have the capability as far as the Americans with Disabilities Act, as far as
not at this point. We would have to do that, and we've found the place to put an elevator shaft and an elevator. considerable updates to it. But the positive thing about that building is we own the building and we own the land.
Well, there you
go.
go.
We're off and running at a start, so we can afford to invest some money. As I said, no funding source at this time, so that will have to be part of the plan. But it's my goal to have a plan in place by early 18.
Well, and early 18 is when you're out of here.
That's exactly right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Rediger. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and you're always so well informed. I feel like you're my go-to person for all information.
Well, I've had a great 7 years now being mayor, and it has been a lot of fun for me, and I've seen a lot of things happen, and we've had a lot of people engage in building our community to what it is today.
Well, you've helped make it that way.
Thank you. Good to be with you, Audra.
Thank you. We've been talking with Cape Girardeau Mayor Harry Rediger, and want to remind you, you can find more information at cityofcapegirardeau.org. On the way next, Southeast Dr. Morris Jenkins. Stay tuned for more of Cape Chronicle.
We don't see problems. We see opportunities for creative solutions. At Southeast Missouri State, we don't think outside the box. We got rid of the box. We embrace innovation and turn ideas into successful businesses by learning from those who've been there before. We even offer a safe space to try out ideas before launching. Who else can say that? Entrepreneurship is everywhere. Let's make your ideas happen.
You can sing in the shower and doodle in the margins of a notebook for the rest of your life, or you can push your creativity to center stage and develop the skills to back it up. At Southeast Missouri State University, you can surround yourself with minds that are as creative and weird and beautiful as yours, at a campus dedicated exclusively to the arts, with classmates who share your passion, and faculty who know the industry. You've got talent. Let's see what you got.
I just walked by and I said, "What's happening, guys?" And they told me they were making music.
It's the way you walk, it's the way you talk. I like his music.
They said I could play, so any chance to play at all. You know, that's my life. I love music.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. Southeast Missouri State University has devoted time and effort for years to inclusiveness and diversity, and celebrating the champion of such issues, Dr. Martin Luther King. Our own Dr. Morris Jenkins, the Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, is the co-chair of the Martin Luther King Commemoration Committee and is here to share the importance of such work. Well, it's always a pleasure to see you, Dr. Jenkins. You are so involved in things like diversity and everything that goes on campus. I know that last night was the dinner, the Martin Luther King dinner, and it was at the Show Me Center, right?
Correct.
And I'm assuming that there were a lot of speeches, a lot of laughter, a lot of things to enjoy, but there are some big changes coming in our country over the next few months. And with that coming together last night, with everyone coming together on Monday, January 16th for Martin Luther King Day, are you hopeful? Are you seeing people understanding that it's important for us to work together for diversity?
Oh, definitely. I think it's we're at the crossroads in this country and actually around the world. And the banquet gave an opportunity to reflect on not only the life of Dr. King, because Dr. Mary Frances Berry was a personal friend of both Dr. King and Coretta, but also to discuss a lot about his vision and how we can get the community involved in social change.
Well, speaking of community, we'll get to that. How did the events of the last year, especially those here on campus, how did that affect the way you as a committee chairperson, how did that affect how you all planned events for not only for the commemorative celebration, but also for Black History Month?
Correct. It's, we really wanted to get student involvement in all of our efforts, and the events of Ferguson and other things really had an impact upon not only the students, but we as faculty and staff. So we tried to incorporate some of those ideas in many things that we're doing or are going to do across the community. So it had a profound impact.
There are several events in February. I would assume you're planning on attending some of them.
As many as I can.
One that stands out for me is the Where Do We Stand panel of discussion for African American males. And what exactly are the topics that you want to see discussed at an event like that?
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I think there are many, many directions that we can go in, but I think it'll be more productive for us to really explore higher education and the aspects of race and gender and how it impacts individuals here at Southeast Missouri State and also at other institutions. But also there's a connection with other events, political and social, that are happening in the community. So I see that crossroad there, and I think that this panel will be the first of many discussing issues that impact individuals.
When you talk with young African American male students here and they feel frustration at their ability to complete their higher education, how do you encourage them to stick with it?
We try to discuss what the obstacles are and come up with a practical plan to deal with those obstacles. Because to me, I don't think things have changed as far as the struggles of African American males over the last 40 or 50 years when I was a youngster. But there are ways. What I did, I learned from my elders, and now that I'm an elder, I'm hoping that I can help our young people in their struggles.
So some of the events that are coming up do have to do with education, like National Trio Day celebration. Now, I don't know what that acronym stands for.
To be honest, I don't know what it stands for either, but I know what it is.
Okay, tell us about
it. It's a project here on campus and on many campuses that gives some encouragement and some practical resources for students who are in higher education, and they specifically try to guide students in ways that will help them financially, help them socially, and help them politically as they explore higher education. So it's a good project. It's a good project.
There are a number of other events that are coming to campus for Black History Month for the month of February, and they're all available on the cmo.edu website. Just /events and look for those. But we've had a lot of change to campus over the last couple of years, starting at the very top.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we have a president, Dr. Vargas, who represents diversity in and of itself.
Yes.
What areas or developments in diversity have you seen over the last year that get you the most excited?
I think now there's a real commitment. Not that there wasn't a commitment before, but now it's like the whole theme was, what can we do now for the dinner? And we're really focusing in on developing projects, developing processes, changing the curriculum to reflect the diverse environment that we're from. So we got a new president, we got a new provost, and in fact, after yesterday, we have a new associate provost, and it's for student success. And every one of these individuals are committed to dealing with diversity on all levels. So I'm excited.
Well, I'm glad to hear you excited, because it gets me excited about my alma mater all along the way. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jenkins, for coming in to chat with us. We know that you're a champion of students and of diversity, and will continue, even though you're giving up your chairmanship of the events.
Yes.
You're still going to be involved.
Oh yeah, I'll be on the committee.
Good. Good.
I don't have to be a chair.
You don't have to plan it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again, Dr. Jenkins, for coming in. It's always a pleasure to talk with a champion of students and a stronger society. Our thanks to Morris Jenkins. On the way, we will be chatting with Abby Vanderboel from the Show Me Center and what you can see there soon. That's next on Cape Chronicle.
There's more to history than books. At Southeast Missouri State, we're getting our hands dirty and preserving history. Our classrooms are museums, homes, and historic sites. Because the past can teach us so much more when it can be touched. We're preparing for the future. Because to know where you're going, you must know where you've been.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
At Southeast Missouri State, we know agriculture can mean so much more than working on the farm. It means research and lab work that lead to profitability and sustainability. It means creating new jobs, jobs that other people haven't even thought of yet. It means the spirit of entrepreneurship and the desire to make your own way. You want to do something groundbreaking beyond plowing fields. So let's get started.
This is Cape Chronicle, and I'm Audra Kane. 2017 is no different than any other year in that the Show Me Center is bringing some of the best concerts and shows right to your doorstep. We're joined now by Marketing Director Abby Vanderboel to tell us just what those events will be. Abby, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited because I'm a country music fan, and I know there are a lot of country music fans in the area, and you've got a couple of acts coming to the Show Me Center soon. One of them being
Brantley Gilbert. He will be here on Friday, February 10th. It's his The Devil Don't Sleep tour. We're pretty excited. We had him a couple years ago, but we always love to have him come back. Tickets are already on sale, so we even are offering student discounts. They get $20 off a ticket, so we're pretty excited about offering that to our students so they have kind of an event they can afford to come to at the Show Me Center.
That is one thing. A lot of times, you know, students don't always have as much to spend on their entertainment, and there are so many events around here that are free to them. So it's great to hear that you're offering them some sort of discount. Who's opening up for Brantley Gilbert?
It is Luke Combs and then Tucker
Betard. Yeah. Well, you hear him on the radio all the time. So
yes, they're starting to be up and coming, and he just picked them up and said, "Come on tour with me." So we're pretty excited to have two country artists that, who knows, next year could be headlining a show of their own.
Absolutely, definitely with Tucker Betard. Chris Stapleton is coming later this year.
Yes, he will be here April 28th. Right now, the only tickets really available are a VIP poster that's online. We sold out pretty quickly of the $63.50 tickets, but we are offering, if you purchase a seat option package, which is $50 per seat, and you will get that same seat every time you come to a show at the Show Me Center. That is our event. It excludes athletic events and the university events, but if it's a ticketed event for us, it would be that same seat, and then you would purchase the ticket itself. So there are still ways to get a $63.50 ticket. So if anybody wants one of those, make sure to stop by our box office or call them at 651-5000, and they will make sure to get you part of the seat option club.
That's interesting, the seat option club. I think a lot of people are probably going to take advantage of that because they have their specific spot in the Show Me Center that they like to watch
it is
concerts
in
from.
section 107. So if you picked 107 row C, seat 3 and 4, you'd pay $100 for those seats, and you are guaranteed those seats for every show that we have at the Show Me Center.
That's interesting. I love that option. That's a really great option, especially for music fans and the ones that enjoy all different kinds of music. And speaking of all different kinds of music, I also know that there is the Rock and Worship Roadshow coming.
Yes. We are pretty excited about that one. They come, I think they came last year, so I would love to say every year, but I think they took a couple of years off before that. But that is a unique event. We don't actually sell tickets for it. It's a $10 donation kind of thing at the door, or you can go to theroadshoretour.com and purchase VIP tickets and actually get in before the doors and get a closer seat up to the stage. And they actually have a pre-party that a couple artists will come out, and it's really neat. A lot of people don't take advantage of it, so it's kind of an intimate concert before the big event. So they put on a great show, and we love having them back.
Well, that's awesome. I know a lot of people will be excited about that. All right, so moving on from music, let's talk about there's a home and garden show coming.
Yes, the Heartland Home and Garden Show presented by KFVS 12. They're our partner with it. It is March 17th, 18th, and 19th this year, and this is, I think, the 4th year that the Show Me Center has produced that show, and that's our little baby. We've taken kind of hold of that. There's still some spaces for vendors available on the main floor and upstairs. They can give me a call at the Show Me Center or email me. But we have usually around 100 to 150 booths available for people to come by of all kinds of stuff for your houses, whether it's decorating, landscaping, new windows, carpet. About anything you can find at the Home and Garden Show.
Well, that sounds like a great event, especially for homeowners, but I know it'll apply to people that are also renting because it'll have things like furniture and stuff like that, right?
Yes, and we do have some realtors that are there that will maybe help you find your next home to buy. And then there's insurance and all that for renter's insurance or home insurance.
Well, Abby, I want to hear more about it. We'll talk afterward,
Yes.
but thank you so much for coming by.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been
Pretty
great.
excited.
Abby Vanderboel is with the Show Me Center. She's their marketing director, and we want to thank her for coming in as well as thanking our other guests. And thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. The program is a collaboration between the Department of Mass Media at Southeast Missouri State University and the City of Cape Girardeau. Our executive producer is Jim Dufek. I'm Audra Kane. Thanks for watching.